That was amazing timing. I was just choking to death, Joe, and I stopped choking to death just as the show started. That was amazing. My wife literally came in and chucked a cough drop at me because she thought this was, I was going to hack myself right off the screen. Joe, it's so awesome to see you. It's been way too long.
You as well.
I know that we both did the COVID tango over the last month,
Yes.
and I will tell you, it was absolutely crappy, and I still have, I guess, little tiny bullshit symptoms, but I am feeling much better. Tell us about how nightmarish your bout was.
We won't discuss the stomach issues, but the 16 hours a day sleep, that was kind of cool.
It's funny because I did quite the opposite. I only got a couple of hours of sleep every night because I was banished to my office, of course, because nobody wanted to catch my funky disease. And I was laying in this couch right behind me, actually, staring at the ceiling every night, wishing that creeping death would come, but it never did. And I'm here now to continue this train wreck of a program that we have here, Joe. Before we all start, on a serious note, our dear brother Scott Schiaffo, who's our co-host, our dear friend, and somebody we love dearly, lost his father this week, and he will not be joining us tonight. When you think about everything that's going on with Scott right now, with Clerks 3 being a blockbuster success, and with everything that's going on, he got to go and do his big appearance at the Beacon in New York City. He was riding high. Life was really, really was going great for him. And then a sad thing like he lost his dad happens. So Scott, everybody here at the end of the night, and everybody at the Indie Escape Network, and everybody, we all really miss you. We all love you, and hang in there, pal. We're sorry about the loss of your dad. That's terrible. But with that being said, we'll see Scott soon. Hopefully, he'll be back next week, and we could get back to our regular chicanery. The three amigos of stupidity back together would be a hell of a lot of fun. By the way,
However,
I'm going to say right now, I got to see. I was supposed to go to a screening of Clerks 3 with Brian in Scranton, Pennsylvania, but sadly, It was like right in the middle of my bout with COVID, and but I got to see it 2 or 3 days ago. And I just want to say, because everybody in the whole Clerks, everybody knows how we're so close to everybody in the Clerks family. Brian's been on this show probably a dozen times. Scott is our co-host. Marilyn's been on at least 2 or 3 times. Ernie's like a tick that we can't remove from our skin. There's just everybody involved with Clerks who's a part of this family. I just wanted to say I am, I'm proud of all of you. You all did an amazing job. But it wouldn't be fair if I didn't say that Brian O'Halloran, my dear friend, my crony, my brother from another mother, we love to bust each other's humps. We live to do that. I mean, that's all we do is pick on each other mercilessly, and we try to see who can make the other one more miserable. He wins all the time, by the way.
well, I heard a rumor that the only reason he goes to your house is because of your cat.
Yes, him. I think it's the only reason my wife and daughter still stay here is because of the cat. It was. I have to say, if the Academy of Motion Picture, and this is not me blowing smoke, if he sucked, I'd have more fun making fun of him, to be honest with you. If the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences does not recognize his performance in Clerks 3 this year, they are making a grave mistake, because he is so effing. I had no idea going to this movie. Everybody I know kept every last bit of it a secret to me. And he was so fantastic in this film. And if he's not recognized for that performance, I will be thoroughly shocked, because he was truly fantastic.
I agree.
Yes. I mean, I'm surprised a schlep like him could give such a wonderful performance. What does my friend Jim Crut have to say? Just saw Clerks 3 this evening on the big screen. It was a really touching film. I liked the commentary after the credits. Very special. Yeah, Jim, I mean, you know Brian too, and he really hit it out of the park. So did Scott was fantastic, and Marilyn was fantastic, and Ernie was Ernie. But it was just a fantastic film. So kudos to everybody involved with Clerks 3.
Absolutely. Hello, Ken. Thank you for joining us again this evening, sir.
Hi, Ken. I hope you're well. We're excited to have our show tonight. Stepping in to be a guest co-host tonight is the beautiful and talented young lady who was on our show last week, Wendy Zier. And she is hysterically funny. She is incredibly beautiful and charming. And in a few minutes, we're going to pull her up so that she can help me interview just an icon of fashion. One of the most iconic fashion designers of all time. And literally, as far as the field that she works in, a living legend. Miss Sue Wong will be joining us in the next 5 minutes or so. CJ, how are you, my friend? I hope you are well. I haven't heard or spoke to you in a while. I hope you're well. I hope everything's copacetic down in that lovely giant state of Texas you live in. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. You and just.
So, by the way, is that wonderful? I heard that Clerks 3 is at its wits. I see what you did there. Yes. Thank you, Tim. Is your charming wife and daughter still have their business model up and running yet, or is it still in the holding phase?
It's still in the holding phase, but I have some really cool news.
Oh, sweet. I'd love to hear it.
So on their website for the holiday season, they are going to have an indie escape page on there.
Oh,
and they're
sweet.
going to create a scent for every show.
Oh, wow. So if it's going to be the end of the night, it's going to be beer, cigarettes, and regret, right? maybe a little bit of sweat mixed in.
Well, no, I think they had like popcorn or something for you for some reason, but I'll have to look at the list again.
Popcorn,
but yes, we're very excited about that.
Oh, somebody said that's pretty cool. It just says Facebook user. Can you tell me, is that Luciana?
I believe it's Luciana. She would have to give Facebook permission, I think, to use her likeliness.
Luciana, if it's you, it's lovely to see you. With that being said, Joe, why don't we bring up our lovely guest co-host for the evening? We've become wonderfully close, fast friends, and she's just awesome. She's incredibly talented, incredibly funny, and let's just bring her up. Wendy, are you there?
I'm here. I'm on my phone, so I apologize if it's wobbly. But how are you?
You're gonna do the Max Headroom thing on me all night.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
see
a little
it.
wobbly. But
No,
I've got my glasses on, so if I have any sort of problems, I can see.
There you go. Well, how are you, Wendy?
I'm great. The hair is good. Glad you asked. It's an entity upon itself. My hair is a bigger force than the forces of nature. So my hair looks good. Yes, that's all.
Oh,
Absolutely. Everything about you looks good. You're a beautiful woman.
Oh, go on. Stop it.
Yes. If I was straight, I would totally hit up on you.
Oh, go on. If you weren't gay.
Yes, they do.
Hey, by the way, please, my best to Scott. I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, the sad part is that Scott and his dad have gotten really close over the last couple of years, and it sucks when you lose a parent. I would guess.
Of course.
So, yep. Well, with that being said, I want to thank you right here live on the air because Joe, last week she was on our show. She was incredibly charming, and I was still not feeling well when I did the show last Sunday.
And I'm sorry I missed it.
You did great.
Oh, thank you. But this incredibly sweet and charming young lady was kind enough to text me when I wasn't feeling well, to check in on me. Unlike you, Joe, who gave a rat's ass if I was alive or dead. Thank you, Wendy. It was very kind of you to check in on me.
Of course.
To make sure that...
Did the matzo ball soup make it to your house?
No, actually it hasn't, sadly.
No, wait a minute. Did Wendy show up for happy hour?
Did she show up? I don't think so. You did, though, right?
I better be invited next time.
But she was actually probably doing something like working or something.
I might have been. I don't know. I try to work a little bit to earn some money. I've got a kid in college. You know how that goes. Your
I
kid is in
sadly,
college.
Yes,
I sadly do know how that goes.
as do I.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for bringing us down, Wendy.
Yeah, sorry about that. All of
Yeah.
us with kids in college, you're proud of them, but you're like, yeah, this is gonna suck for a few years. For 4 years.
Wendy's like, let's talk about Scott's dead dad and then college bills. Yay!
Sorry. And you're gonna be paying for a wedding too, Dad. So that'll happen eventually one day. I'll bring you down to that too. So
No, thank you. It's very kind
So
of
am
you.
I. Thanks again, Wendy.
no problem. No problem.
Actually,
Yeah,
my
what's-
daughter's, I think, a year younger than Dave's.
Why does the
Oh,
why
really?
why does the wives' parents got to pay? When did that rule come across?
I think so. The groom's parents pay for like the rehearsal dinner. They
Okay.
get off easy because that's nothing compared to what the bride's parents have to put the bill for. So I don't know. Them's the rules. I didn't write them. I didn't make them.
Well, that sucks.
I mean, I thought we were supposed to be pawning them off on rich people.
I think that's the
and-
whole idea: is you marry her off. But today in a women's world, we'll talk about empowered women. The woman should be doing so well that she could either support the man or not, because
You are
she's good
absolutely
enough
right.
to make 6 figures on her own.
Definitely. I can't argue that point.
No,
All
there
right,
you go.
enough of our silly banter.
Yes.
We have an extremely talented and wonderful woman waiting to come in on our show. Without further ado, one of the most powerful and influential fashion designers in the world, an extremely kind and wonderful lady who was kind enough to do our show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sue Wong. Hi, Sue.
Everyone.
How are you?
Hello. Yes, we're broadcasting from my house in Malibu, which is right in front of the ocean, right above Zuma Beach.
Is that the infamous Cedars or no? Is that the Cedars?
No, I actually have 3 homes, and I call them body, mind, and spirit. So the Cedars is the corporeal feminine body, because I just think of her as a grande dame. And my Malibu house is all modernistic, is the antithesis of the Cedars. I have a huge collection of modern art that I've been amassing for decades, and mostly, they're really my brilliant, starving artist friends that I've been supporting for decades. And so that's all modernistic, mid-century, very filled with art, wall-to-wall art everywhere. And then I have my spiritual sanctuary on the island of Maui, in the far-flung jungles of East Maui, which is where the 7 sacred pools are. I don't know whether you've ever been to Maui, but it's all East Maui, and it's completely the beautiful nature experience. So we're here, so this is the mind, because it's all modernistic. It's more cerebral, modern art, jazz, that sort of thing.
I read, just by the way, because I was getting serious home envy about the Cedars, but I had read that your other home was more modernistic. You had a huge collection of modern art, but I was enthralled by the Cedars. I mean, first of all, it was commissioned by the director Maurice Lunier. Is that correct?
Maurice Tournier. It was really his design vision, and he basically masterminded the whole thing. He was a French visionary artist that immigrated from Paris in the teens, and he worked for MGM Studios as a screenwriter, as a director, as an art director. So it was originally on 15 acres, and it's located in the Los Feliz portion of the Hollywood Hills East, which means that it's really old Hollywood, because that's where all the movie directors like Cecil B. DeMille and Charlie Chaplin, I mean, all the old movie stars live there.
That's so awesome, because where I live in Milford, Pennsylvania, Cecil B. DeMille and D.W. Griffith actually made the very, very first Hollywood films here. Well, not Hollywood films. You call them Hollywood films because they had wide-scale distribution. But they made the very first films that made wide-scale distribution, like The Informer with Mary Pickford. And it's what most people don't really realize is that American cinema, because Edison invented the camera in New Jersey, and then great filmmakers took it across the border in Pennsylvania, American cinema was created in Pennsylvania and really not Hollywood. But that's
Well,
really,
that's
yeah,
I didn't know
that's a great story.
Well, I have something to add to the Cedars. It's also known as the Norma Tallmadge estate. And Norma Tallmadge was the preeminent movie star of the silent era. She was one of the biggest. And she was married to Joseph Schenck, who basically founded 20th Century Fox Studios. So they lived there, and then they would, they were very good friends with Charlie Chaplin, who lived at the Cecil B. DeMille Mansion. And their other best friends were Sir Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford. So they would all come to the Cedars, and they would really be entertaining them there. And so then the five of them eventually created United Artists Pictures. But that's not where, the illustrious history of the Cedars ends. I'm just going to rattle some names off to you because it's really this grand palazzo of old Hollywood history. So, let me just tell you some of the other names that lived there. After Norma Tallmadge, it was Howard Hughes. So Howard Hughes lived there circa 1930, 31, 32. After he lived there, then it was, I believe, the horror star Bela Lugosi. Yeah. Because Bela Lugosi lived there at the height of his Dracula fame. Many years later, many decades later, Johnny Depp had to live there because he was filming Ed Wood, which was in part about Bela Lugosi. If you remember, Martin Landau won the supporting Oscar for that. So after Bela Lugosi, then it was Errol Flynn, and then the heir to the Guinness beer fortune. And then after that, in the 60s, it became this iconic rock palace. So you had the likes of, I wouldn't even call them rock stars. They were rock gods because
icons. Yeah.
You had the likes of Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Bob Dylan, Lou Reed and the Velvet Underground. I mean, you had really like serious icons really living.
Oops.
Did we lose her?
Yep.
Oh no. Well,
she'll be back.
While we're waiting, okay, when we're waiting to get her back, I wanted to tell you that I had read all about this home, and it had all of these icons from, like, Jimi Hendrix slept in one of the beds there, Bob Dylan, all of these people that she was saying. And so it's decorated accordingly. It's like Moroccan influence. I mean, it's beautiful, Art Deco, and then these kind of rock icon flourishes. It was just beautiful.
It's funny you should bring that up, because I think recently on an episode, sorry, Sue, we lost you for a second.
We lost you for a
Yes. But you can see me again now, right?
Yep, yes. Everything's back perfectly. I wanted to ask you a question. When you were a young girl, what inspired you to take the career path in life that you chose to take?
Actually, let me tell you a little bit about my background. My mother and I escaped from communist China. She traded in her wedding jewelry to the border guard who released us to our freedom, and we were met on the other side in Hong Kong by relatives who took us into safety. In the meantime, my father had registered me as a boy before I was born, and he quickly fled before I was born, as the communist Chairman Mao was invading. Subsequently, they really closed up the country, and my mother and I were stuck there until I was 5.5 years old, and then we escaped into Hong Kong, where we lived for a year while my father petitioned for us to really come here to the United States. So I grew up here from age 6.5 years and on. And I had never really, intended to be a fashion designer. I was always born an artist. I knew that I was an artist by the time I was 3 years old. So, fashion is a modality, is a creative modality by which I made that into a career for nearly 5 decades, almost half a century. And I was very successful at it, but I just really, a few years ago, I just really decided, okay, I've done this long enough. And I just really think that it's time to really go on to, other creative modalities, because I'm not the type that just has my identity as just Sue Wong, the fashion designer. I mean, I feel that I'm so much more than just a fashion designer. And being a fashion designer, I excelled at it. It was a great career for a girl. I was able to support my family, and eventually I was very, very successful at it. Actually, I've had two career rises. By the time I was 25 years old, I was already at the top of my game and rose to the top of my profession. By the time I was 30, I lost it all, during divorce. And then, con artists got a hold of me and basically, ran away with my fortune. So I, basically was left with nothing at age 30. And then I had to start all over again. And then, slowly, my client came back. It took me 20 years. And then, unfortunately, I had a very unscrupulous sociopathic partner who basically took all of my life savings. But fortunately, I was left with my big pieces of real estate because I have trophy pieces of properties, and I had my business. So, it's been 15 years, but I built it back up again. So I always, think of myself as a symbol of the phoenix, basically, rises from the ashes to really redefine myself and reinvent myself all over again. So it's been a very, very interesting life. I really don't have any regrets because I feel that, life is all about learning our lessons. That's what we're here for, So if we make a mistake, then we have to really acknowledge what that mistake is, and you have to live and learn your lessons. So that's basically what I've done.
Absolutely. And I hope that you take a moment to be proud of yourself, because you've done some extraordinary things, and not everybody gets to do the things that you accomplished in life. And sometimes when we have even a monicum of success, we never sit back and smell the roses and enjoy the moment. So please make sure that when you go to bed tonight, you look in the mirror and say, hey, you did some wonderful shit with your life. I'm pretty epic. Make sure you
Rest
do
on
that.
your laurels for an hour and watch some junk TV. But I wanted to say something. I had to interject, Sue,
Yes.
because I wanted to thank you on behalf of women who are not a size 6 anymore. You made this beautiful couture fashion wearable and affordable. This beautiful Art Deco 20s, 30s inspired fashion for people like myself that are
Well,
not.
I'm a romantic at heart, and I've always been influenced, I guess, when I was really growing up, because, I came from scarcity, and I basically less than nothing, actually, from poverty and living in the ghetto. And my first home was in the tenement, building called the Paradise Apartments right off of Skid Row. But anyway, I basically lifted myself from nothing. And, I think through sheer will and through basically my dreams, I became what I am. But I was going to say, I used to watch these silver screen goddesses like Jean Harlow and Carol Lombard and Marlene Dietrich. And I thought they were just really drop dead glamorous. So the 1920s and the 1930s were very emblematic of my look. So, I just really created these really beautiful fantasy gowns with beadwork, embroidery, fringe, and soutache, and everything else. And I was actually credited with being, for being the first designer to bring haute couture to the masses. So, in other words, you don't really have to spend $25,000 to $50,000 on a couture gown from Chanel or Versace or anything. Basically for anywhere from, let's say, $600 to about $800. When I was doing my work, you could really get something comparable that was beautifully designed, all hand embellished. I used all the couture embellishments and techniques from the finest couture houses in Europe, but I had all my gowns made by hand in China. And at first they were on silk because, back in those days, I mean, we're going back like 22 years, maybe 23 years. But, so that's what I basically created a niche for myself. And so, you would see Sue Wong well, I would go to, like the Oscars or the Emmys or the Golden Globes and the after parties and such.
Ah,
Oh
we
no,
lost her again.
we're having a little bit of an issue, but
Oh,
there
you're
she
back. We lost you for a minute, Sue.
I gotcha.
Oh, your mic is on mute. Is there?
Did we got
If you could hear us, Sue, your
Her
mic is on
mute.
mute. You have to unmute your mic, Sue.
Whatever happened during that little blackout
Yeah.
did something to.
Okay,
There she
yeah,
goes.
all right.
Ah, you're
There we
back.
go. Sorry. So anyway, I would go to all these, big fancy Hollywood night parties, and I would see at least, half a dozen to, not half a dozen to 2 dozens of my, of my gowns everywhere. And sometimes it would go up to the wearer, and I said, "Oh, you look really great in your gown. What label is it?" And they said, "Oh, I think it's a Sue Wong." And I said, "Well, I'm the designer of your gown." And they would just go freaking out.
They're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I went right on and ordered myself a beautiful black beaded gown this evening when I was in honor of the
Well,
show.
that's wonderful. I've been retired in fashion for a few years now, but I have something exciting to announce. I'm going to be working on the Sue Wong Fashion Museum in the future,
Oh,
because
wow.
I have archived over 11,000 of my favorite designs of the last 20 years. And so, I wanted to be my legacy project, because, I want the collection to be made available for budding future fashion designers from all over the world. Maybe it can be a small fashion school, or maybe it can be like a work program where they, come and do research. But that's what's going to happen. I'm going to really be building my own beautiful compound. So, I'm in the process of finishing this Moroccan fantasy palace that I've been working on for the last year and a half. And when that's done, I'm going to turn my attention to that.
And just not to be outdone, when this show's over, I'm going to order myself a pink dress just because I feel
You
I feel
look
very
so pretty in pink, David. That's
I
your
feel very
color.
pretty in pink. I hope you got one that'll fit a 6'7" guy, but
I don't know if
Are
you're
you
down-
6'7"? Oh my goodness.
yes. In heels, I'm
You're-
6'7".
Well, you give my fashion models a run for their money, because
Well-
in high heels they're about 6'3" to 6'4".
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where do you think the future of fashion is going?
Well, I would love to see it come back to an age of elegance. I mean, that's what I try to do via my work, because, sometimes I see these actresses, and, like the Emmys, for instance. I thought the Emmys, I was going to do a whole, reportage on what the stars wore to the Emmys. And then I just really looked at the gowns, and I said, "Oh my God, this is not even worthwhile reporting on." But it's just really so incredibly, what is the word, lackluster and unimaginative. And there was not a hint of glamour anywhere. I'd like to really, see stars, go back to glamour. And sometimes I really feel that I was really, put into the wrong age in Hollywood. And, I should have been a part of the 20s and 30s, because
Yeah.
that's when, my home, the Cedars, rocked. Because I'm sure, like there were some incredible parties there, and people were dressed to the nines, and it was a different time and a different era.
Yeah, I love it. It's an age of opulence. By the way, I loved that sofa that you designed. It was absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
So-
thank you. Art Deco. Yes. My home is sort of an amalgamation between different styles. And I really successfully,
Yeah.
I feel, I've mixed French Deco together, along with colonial Spanish. And there are some Baroque elements in there as well. I have these authentic Baroque Bavarian throne chairs that have really become quite iconic, and identified with the Cedars. So, that's really been really a lot of fun. Oh, I forgot to tell you, there were two very famous movies made at the Cedars as well. One of them is, do you remember, of course, Sunset Boulevard, Mr. DeMille? I'm ready for my close-up. Well, the character of Norma Desmond was based on Norma Talmadge. And there were two scenes, I think, from the movie that was really filmed at my iconic Palazzo the Cedars. And the other one was decades later, took place decades later. Well, not many decades later, because I think Sunset Boulevard was made in 1950 or 1949. This was 1969, so it would be two decades later. But do you remember, the movie Easy Rider?
Oh yes, yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda made the Cedars, the set, and actually Dennis Hopper lived there for the time that they made it. So those are two iconic movies that were made at the Cedars as well.
No, I mean the home is absolutely stunning. I've seen it on several
Thank you.
television shows. Do you have any desire to do any on-screen performing, like acting?
I have actually. I've acted, in two movies. One of them was a very challenging role. I played myself, Sue Wong, the fashion designer, and that was for my friend's movie, Vincent DePaul's movie, Beverly Hills Christmas. And the other one was, it was about. It was called the Jade Pendant, and it was really basically about 1871 Chinatown. It was really about the lynching of I think it was like 19 women and children and men, women, and children in October of 1871 when they torched Chinatown in Los Angeles. So that was the biggest lynching ever in the history of the United States. It didn't take place with Black people in the South. It took place with the Chinese people in Chinatown. So, it goes to show you certain parts of history are hidden, but they were very real. So I played this imperious, mother to the, groom in that movie. And I think my Mandarin was so bad that they had to dub it. but it was fun. It was a good experience.
I mean, I think if you are looking to take a different direction from fashion designing, that you would make a very, very interesting leading lady, and you really should. You should.
Well, I'm not sure whether I would really be acting, but the ambition here or the plan is to make my biopic, which is it's a working title, but it's called Red Lotus. Red is the holy or sacred Chinese color, which signifies the lifeblood. Because when you're alive, your lifeblood is red and everything is vibrant and basically a homage to life itself. And when you're dead, white, that's why white is the funereal color. So anyway, so red and lotus happens to be my namesake. So, the lotus flower basically is rooted from the mud. It stems from the mud and yet it, flowers and grows into this, blossom and flower of enlightenment. So I think that's basically kind of my story. And I think it's a very moving story. I think it will be a very inspirational story to tell. So yes, I have so many plans. My life is far from being dull. There's always something going on in my life. But yes, there's the Sue Wong Museum project that I'm going to be working on. And there's going to be a Red Lotus, my biopic, as well as my autobiography, which I already started. And then there's going to be a coffee table book on the Cedars. And last but not least, there's going to be a huge, beautiful coffee table book made on, my life work, basically my work of the last 20 years. So, and then I want to travel and, see all these beautiful sacred sites, which I've always dreamt about, but never had the time to, visit. So I have a lot of stuff that I want to do and manifest in my future.
That's awesome. I mean, do you ever make your way to Pennsylvania? I'm just curious.
Are you
Like,
there?
do you go to places like
Did I
Pennsylvania
lose you
and
again?
the North? Oh, did you lose us? We could see you. No, we lost her.
Oh no. We're just having connection problems tonight.
Yes.
I can see you. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, yes,
You lost
absolutely.
me?
We lost you for just a split
It says
second.
everyone can see me.
Yes, I
Can you
can
see
see you
me?
and hear you. Yes, can you
Can you
hear
hear
us and
me?
see us?
I'm assuming we're on a delay right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I brought some bad mojo of connection. I didn't mean to.
Right? You get great connection now, and then she.
Nice
I,
going,
you know,
Wendy.
go
It's like you
figure.
got up and you left to order a pizza or something. What was up with that?
I was hungry.
She's trying to connect from another window.
Okay.
Oh, wait. There she is.
Okay. Are we back?
You are back.
Okay, sorry about that. So you were going to ask me a question, David.
Do you ever make your way up to like the Northeast, like New York or Pennsylvania or Boston,
Oh
or are
God,
you
yes.
strictly a West Coast lady?
I've been a West Coast lady right now. My older son, who graduated from Yale School of Painting, used to live in New York, and he had his own business in New York for 9 years. But now he's temporarily, for the time being, he's traveling the world for the last 2.5 years. So right now he's based in Bogota, Colombia. So, I don't have as much of a, motivation to really visit New York uh, as much as I would like to visit. But I used to go there twice a year, yes, and about 2 or 3 times to Europe all the time. So I've done a lot of traveling for my work.
That's awesome. Well, Sue, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight.
You're very welcome.
Is there anything you want to say in parting? Is there any websites or information you want to give out so people could follow you and your work?
Yes, I'm on Facebook with Sue Wong Official, and I'm on Instagram with Sue Wong Fashion, but I'm not really as interactive as I am on Facebook with Instagram. You can go visit my website. It's SueWong.com. But I'm on Facebook a lot. I'm very interactive on Facebook, and check me out on Facebook because I do posts on beauty, magic, and transformation. They're, on philosophy. They're on spirituality. They're on beauty. They're on fashion. They're on art. All kinds of things. So check it out.
Well, Sue, thank you so much for joining us. You are incredibly kind. You're incredibly sweet. Somebody of your stature doesn't have to talk to a moron like me for even 5 minutes. So I want to thank you.
I just want to say one thing that might be some of inspiration to some of your viewers.
Okay.
And that's to basically be tenacious about following your dreams and make it happen, because whatever thought energy you put into something, you can really manifest it and make it real. And that's what I did, so don't ever give up on your dreams. You just really need to give it a lot of power and a lot of faith.
Yes, tenacity and a will to succeed are two of probably the most important things you could have to be successful in life.
You have to be hungry. You have to be willing to go out there and get the work.
Well, I think beyond being hungry, I think you have to do that which you love. So one of my favorite teachers is Joseph Campbell. And I always tell people, I paraphrase, Joseph Campbell, of course, but I always say that, you must follow your bliss. You must follow your path of what really ignites you and what really makes you passionate. Because if you do that, you're going to be really good at what you do. Because, like me, for instance, I've been following my art. Fashion became my art for almost half a century. And I became very good at it because it ignited my fire. So you have to really do what you love. And that's basically what I have to say, and, give advice to everybody.
What you need to do is you need to make your way up to Northeast Pennsylvania in the fall and look at the fall foliage and go apple picking and go on a pumpkin hayride and then have a hot chocolate with me.
Yeah, one of these days I'll do that. I've never been to Pennsylvania. I've been to Maine and Rhode Island and Connecticut and, up north a little bit from you, but haven't really been there.
Maine is absolutely gorgeous, especially with Kenny Bunkport part. Have you ever been there?
Algonquin.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very beautiful up there in that New England area.
Up by the ocean. Okay, I won't keep you with my stupidity any longer. Sue, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
You're
Thank
very
you for your
welcome.
kindness. You are awesome.
Very
Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Sue Wong.
Yay!
Thank you for having me.
Beautiful.
Good night, Sue. Be
Thank
well.
you.
You're beautiful.
Good
You're
night.
kind. Thank you. Hey, that worked.
Amazing.
Wow. I've got to tell you, because I really dove in. I've seen her posts. Her stuff is absolutely beautiful. I did go and get a gown tonight.
Did you really?
I don't know where I'm going to wear a flapper gown, but I've got one anyway, damn it. So
Show us.
take me somewhere good.
Show us the scar where you had to remove your kidney to get this.
Oh my God. That's the thing. They're not crazy expensive.
Oh,
You can
really?
get a beaded gown. David, I know you've been wondering. Joe, I know you're wondering where you could get a beautiful beaded gown for not so much money. It exists. She is there. That's why Sue was here. Give us these gowns.
I think I would look nice in a beaded gown.
I think you would too.
And I do like pink for, with the blonde. I don't know. I'm liking it.
Jim Crut says she's a very fascinating lady. Yes, she is, Jim. And you're an extraordinarily fascinating man, Mr. Crut. I got to work on Full Moon Fever with the incredibly impressive superstar Jim Crut. And you're just such a wonderful man, Jim. Thank you for watching the program tonight. I could have talked to Sue for much, much longer, but she was having, as everybody knows, a lot of connection difficulties. And I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable with having to keep popping on. But again, thank you, Sue, for coming on. You're extraordinarily kind. And everybody go out and buy her products because she's aces. She was very kind.
Mm-hmm. So what's on your fall agenda? Because I know you're like in the height, you're getting ready to experience that beautiful New England or mid-Atlantic fall foliage. I mean, I'm in North Carolina. We haven't gotten it yet.
I was up in upstate New York and got some really, really beautiful fall foliage photos in Lechtworth, New York.
I saw that. That was beautiful.
Yes, because we are shooting my new television show, The Slick and the Slender, in upstate New York, right outside of Saratoga. So on Thursday and Friday, we took a ride up and we started to do some shooting, and we got some really, really beautiful pictures. And it's odd because this year, fall foliage has come in a lot earlier because of the drought and because of a bunch of reasons. So the further north you go, the much more fall foliage you see. But even here in northeast Pennsylvania, it's starting to change colors.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is it's pumpkin spice time. That's what I've been waiting for.
I want to put on glasses so I could be cool like you guys.
Yeah. It makes you look very smart.
Yeah,
Very
I need all the help I can get.
But yeah, I mean,
Oh wait, I'm
pumpkin
supposed to argue.
spice
Sorry.
is where it's at. So I'm all about the
Pumpkin
fall.
spice. Oh,
What the hell
no.
are you laughing at now, Joe?
Nothing. I mean, the whole pumpkin spice thing.
Did you guys ever see that meme that was going around with the two talking gerbils talking about pumpkin spice or guinea
No.
pigs?
But that sounds hilarious.
Funniest damn thing I ever seen.
Yeah.
So there's a
What did they say
punchline,
about-
right?
What did they say about pumpkin spice? I need to know the joke.
When I find it, I will send it to you.
Okay.
It's not a joke. It's a whole dialogue. It's like 5 minutes of two guinea pigs talking to each other. Somebody who's watching tonight has to know what the hell I'm talking about. But,
I'm dying to see it. I can't wait. I've lived 53 years and I've not seen this, and now I need to see it.
Here's the thing, Ken. There's no such thing as pumpkin flavored. Do you have a cat?
Yes.
That's so awesome.
Downstairs.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's the cat's name?
This is Trixie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trixie has joined us tonight. That was
Trixie
awesome.
and Lola. I name my cats after like hookers with hearts of gold.
Okay.
Trixie, Lola, Libby, and then I have dogs, but they're upstairs. So
That was awesome. It looked literally like you were sprouting a horn. You were turning into the devil or something, but it was a cat's tail.
You're not the first man that has said that. I'm just saying. Don't get.
I
me
don't know,
mad.
Joe.
Don't get me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
It's going to be a North Carolina thing.
I know, right? You know the drill. Do I look fat? I said, do I look fat?
Said the talking head.
You have no idea.
So, hey, guys, keep your fingers crossed for us down here in Florida, please.
Why? What's going on? You got a storm coming your way?
Oh yeah, I've been following that. It's
Yeah.
about ready to hit. Oh no.
Tuesday into Wednesday, but it looks like the west coast of Florida is going to get the brunt of it, and possibly the Panhandle. But I mean, all it needs is a little turn to the east, and unfortunately, I'm there.
Oh,
Hey, Joe.
no.
Yes.
Can you click me off for 2 seconds? I want to grab something. I don't want everybody to see me in my boxer shorts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to put on pants next time.
So wait a minute. You said you're going to be in your boxer shorts and to expand. Oh no, we moved.
I'm getting up. I don't care.
Oh, Joe, that's okay. We could talk about him while he's gone. I am so sorry. I didn't know that you were in Florida.
Yeah.
And you're getting ready to, you must kind of know the drill if you live there. I mean,
Yeah, I moved from Long Island in 1984 when I was 8. So I'm kind of a Floridian, I
You're
guess.
definitely a Floridian now. I mean, and I know this because you said Long Island and you didn't say Long Island.
Long Island, yes.
Yeah,
No.
you didn't say the hard G. You're not a Long Islander.
Yeah, I grew up on Huntington Harbor for 8 years and then down here in Florida. So yeah, it's become, Florida life for the.
It's beautiful, but I can't even imagine like what home insurance. I
Yes,
don't even.
right.
I can't even ask. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know.
It's probably more than like property in Manhattan right now.
Oh Lord! I mean, on the coast here of North Carolina, I mean, they get a lot of stuff too, which is a few hours away. And I have friends that have beach homes, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound like something I'd be able to afford too easily. I mean, it's really expensive. You got to pay.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And at least down here, we're comfortable with it. We have hurricane parties. Somebody has a generator. Somebody has a cooler.
Do you have hurricane snacks? You got to get hurricane.
Oh,
snacks.
absolutely. We have hurricane liquor snacks.
Well, make hurricanes the drinks.
Yeah.
Those are delicious.
Right. So
God. Yeah,
I think we're kind of out of the cone, but like I said, just a little more to the east, and we're gonna get the rough side of it, unfortunately. But
maybe if we all fan, everybody stands outside and fans.
Okay, everybody fan and blow.
We could do that. We could get it to kind of turn east. So I'll do that if you. I'll be the only one. That would be weird. My neighbors would probably report me again.
Right. Oh, and David's looking at me like, "Why the hell didn't you bring me back up yet?"
No. I was just sitting back, realizing how much better the show is without me.
Oh, stop.
Oh no! But we didn't have our pretty boy.
That's
our
right.
pretty boy David. Huh?
That's because I didn't let my hair down and take my glasses off. But hey,
Well,
that's beside the point.
Joe,
All right.
mean, you're Ponch. You're Eric Estrada. And then, what was the other one's name?
That makes me John. Apparently, I'm John.
Yeah,
Well,
Ponch
he's
and
good,
John.
too.
Larry
Everybody likes
Wilcox.
him.
Larry Wilcox. That's right.
Wilcox.
So,
I wanted to show you something, Joe, and I want your address
Yes.
so I could send you these. These just came in from Fright Rags. How badass are these?
Wow.
So, anybody who wants one of these, hit me up.
I want one.
Send me your address, and I will send you one. How cool are these badass bad
I
boys?
love
That is
it.
awesome. Did you get like Omar the tent maker to make any? Because I'm a pretty big guy.
Yes, we have quadruple X for you, my friend. Tablecloth size.
Thank you.
Kurt, you're a tiny little guy. What are you kidding? Jim Crott, who is in Full Moon Fever. I'm so unbelievably thrilled to have Mr. Crott in Full Moon Fever. And Sean wants one. Yes. So, yes, Full Moon Fever, little werewolf flick that has Scott and I and Jim Crott and a whole bunch of other really cool people.
Well, I've been missing comments. I'm sorry. Ken said we got 10 minutes of clouds from Fiona. Wow. And I agree. Well, to a certain extent, pumpkin flavored anything is yuck.
Oh,
You
it's
know,
always good.
I don't know how my
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
does it. She finds the pumpkin spice creamer at the store in like August. And then like the whole bottom shelf of the refrigerator is pumpkin spice creamer.
Well, everybody gets ready early these days. I went to the grocery store and my kid loaded us up on pumpkin spice, but I was upset because because it's not summer. They were out of freezy pops. You know, the freezer pops. You should sell those year round. People still like those.
Well, they do down here.
I don't know. Well, I'll come down to Florida and get my freezy pops.
Sorry, David.
No, the hell am I pulled the plug on our guest early. I'm guilty of this beautiful.
So, Ken,
I
don't
am
know
Canadian. We
which is
do
worse.
maple flavored everything. Nice.
Oh, well, maple is delicious too. I love it. You guys, you know, there's 3 of us. We could talk about how much you like my hair. We haven't gone over that yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
We have not.
Yeah.
And are you sure you're not from New York or New Jersey? Because that is not North Carolinian hair.
Right? This is Paramus, baby. I did my roots before the show, so I'm very proud. That's why I've talked about my hair. I'll stop talking.
Me too.
You did? What do you
Actually,
use?
the
It's
beard.
fabulous.
Sorry.
I just threw this toupee on so that I have something for the.
I don't know, David. I mean, listen, at our age, and I'm only saying our age because I know we've talked about it, and we're both a similar age, 29. But at our age, you go to if you're a man and you go to the high school reunion and you have hair, you are a star.
You know what's so funny?
Star.
I went to my 30th reunion, I think, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I went in there and there was nothing but a bunch of old fucking dudes there. And I was like, God, I hope I don't look like these clowns. And then when I looked in pictures, I realized I was just an old dude myself. But
You stop.
But it was absolutely horrifying. But but with that being said, it is what it is. I guess growing old is better than the alternative.
Well, yeah, it is. My mother's high school reunion, I mean, she's 82, but she says she's 39. She had told me it's so bad that their high school reunion, it was like on a Quincy steakhouse on a Wednesday at 2:00. And I was like, you've given up. And she was like, yeah, most of the women came there with an urn, because it was gone. So.
That's what they call the spouse section.
Yeah. Sad. But yes,
I know.
You've got good hair. That's all I can say.
Who's got good hair?
Well, both of you. I mean, Joe, I haven't seen your hair below the ball cap, but I got to say, I love the beard. Oh, stop it. You do not have that braid. Is that happening?
He has that hair that goes down to his butt crack.
Oh, that's wonderful. Why are you not showing off that braid? That's fantastic.
Because Dave won't let me. He abuses me when we're off air.
I hit him with a wet noodle.
You're mean. You're a taskmaster. Is what
I
you
am.
are.
I'm very, very brutal.
So what else? So what does everybody else have going on that you haven't talked about and told me?
What do you got cooking, Joe? You got anything cool going on the Indie Escape Network?
I got a lot of stuff going on with the Indie Escape Network. We're going
lay it
to
on
have
us.
a bunch of... Well, now I'm like deer in the headlights because I didn't have anything prepared because I thought we were going to be all wongy tonight. And
did you just say old
we could
wongy?
talk about her.
Yes.
Wongy. That's a new. I think you've come up with a new adjective. Wongy.
I am going to go license that right now. I'm going to copyright it.
Too late. She did already. It's buying her 5th estate.
I got to see the one thing. David, you would probably know this movie. I am not familiar with it, but we are going to have Are you familiar with the film Rock and Roll Nightmare?
I've heard of
No,
it
it doesn't ring a bell.
It was, when the rock and roll horror comedy movies kind of came out. This one came out in 87, I think. But Tim Millican, who is going to have a cast and crew He's going to have a panel on the Indie Escape Network Thursday, October 13th at 10 p.m. with the cast and crew of that movie. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Didn't he pop on the show earlier with a?
He did.
Oh, look at that.
Yes. So, and he may even have another one coming up later this month for Halloween. Unfortunately, I'm drawing a blank right now. The film, okay, David, you remember Family Ties. I'm sure, Wendy, you remember the show Family Ties
Of
too.
course I do.
Okay. So Skippy on Family Ties.
Skippy Handelman.
Yes, he had a rock and roll horror movie
called Trick or Treat.
Yes. Okay. So that's the other panel he's doing later this month, and Skippy's going to be on.
Yay,
Skippy!
So, yeah.
Is he bringing
that's a
Is he bringing the peanut butter?
Is he bringing the peanut butter? Well, I'm hoping he's bringing the Gene Simmons.
Well, there you go. I don't think I remember seeing that movie.
Really? You of all
So,
people.
Wendy, did you watch not Oblivion, Spontaneous yet?
No, but I'm going to tell you I didn't, and I know you told me to, and it's my assignment. I do want to see it, but I'm going to tell you what I have been watching, and it's excellent. Is the Dahmer movie with Evan Peters? I don't know if you guys have started that. It's really good.
Did you see, Joe?
I have not. What is it? 6 parts? I was kind of. It's in the queue with a bunch of David Lee Madison movies and other people we know.
Yes,
that's usually where my movies usually stay in the queue. That's the sad part.
I watched them. I thought they were great.
Oh, thank you. Checks in the mail.
You're fantastic. I feel like I did have an interesting VO story. I did a voiceover for a funeral home, but it was very weird because it was supposed to be like an educational video, but it was supposed to be upbeat and happy. And I was like, I don't know. It was just it was an odd, never done one like that before. That was kind of strange.
Hey, did Grandma bite the big one? Come out to Smith's Funeral Home, where we'll smoke a doobie over. We'll smoke a doobie over Grandma's grave. I don't know.
Yes. Just an odd combo.
It sounds like an odd
very
combo.
Interesting. Yeah, very odd combo.
With that being said, I probably think we should wrap this train wreck of a show up tonight, so people don't have to suffer any further. What do you think, Joe?
It's like a morning show. It's like a morning show on radio.
What is this? Is this episode 9,246, if I'm not mistaken?
Something like that. And before we go, everybody who's out there, please go to David Lee Madison, the End of the Night Facebook page, hit that like and subscribe button. Then go over to the Indie Escape page, the network that we're all on, and go to Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. I finally memorized the symbols. I'm very proud of myself.
Congratulations. And by the way, I have asked the lovely and talented Wendy to pop up on our show every now and again to do a top 10 list. So,
really?
Yes. So Wendy will be semi-regular to come on here and keep us in line and read our weekly top 10 list. And when I say weekly, I mean very weekly top 10 list.
Well, welcome to the network.
Well, thank you, y'all. And I'll do it in my VO style. I'll talk like that, but sexier.
As long as it's not in your BO style, we'll be fine.
Oh, well, I use deodorant, so don't worry
there you
about
go.
that. We're good.
Congrats. Thank you, Jim. Thank you for always
Thanks.
being such a wonderful and supportive guy, and you're awesome. And thank you, Ken, who's congratulating you, Wendy. And I want to thank everybody who joined us tonight. Thank you, Sue Wong, for spending some time with us. You're an incredibly talented and sweet lady. Wendy, thank you so much for pinching in for Mr. Grunkle Scott Schiaffo, who you did an amazing job. You helped me. Really, it was just you did your homework and you were wonderful with Sue. So thank you so much for being wonderful and charming and funny. Absolutely. And Joe, I really have nothing to thank you for. You're just. I have
like
no
you,
idea.
Joe.
Well, thank you. Wendy, where can people find you on social media and follow up on your work?
Well, gosh, I feel terrible. I'm not prepared. I'm so embarrassed. I didn't study. My website is www.wendyvoices.com. I'm on Facebook at Wendy's Ear. I do actually have a YouTube page and Instagram, but I don't know what it is. But anybody needs some VO or want to contact me, feel free. Here I am.
Ah.
Yeah.
Joe, you have
And I
anything
do
you want to
them.
share before we call it a night, my friend?
Yeah, these Sunday night shows are getting later and later. You know, I actually have to DVR Matlock now. Thank you.
It's 11:02, Joe.
We made good time. Did
Yeah,
you
we
say
did. We
Matlock,
made
by
very
the way?
good time.
Did you say Matlock?
I said Matlock. Yes,
Hey, you
Thanks.
could watch
that's
our
my
good.
style of come
You
on.
could watch our you could watch our dear friend Dan Roebuck on Matlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gee,
Oh
I didn't
wait,
know that you
speaking
knew
of which,
that.
The
Yeah.
Munsters is coming out this week?
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
on
have Dan.
Netflix.
Maybe we'll have Dan stop by next weekend. I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be very cool. David, what do you have? I want to put you on the spot.
I have absolutely nothing except well, not a turkey neck yet, but I'm working on it. I have nothing important to say. I'm just happy to be alive. You know, I still have my hair.
Yes. Look good. We're living and breathing another day. At our age, these are accomplishments. So
Thank you,
yes.
thank you.
Now, mind you, everybody, I'm closer to 29 than I am their age, so
Oh,
You have shirts
Are you
that are
up?
29, Joe.
I do. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm in my
socks
mid
at
40s
29.
though, but
With
You're
that
a
being
baby.
said, everybody, we will see you next week at the same bat time, same bat channel. Again, I want to thank Sue for coming on. Joe and Wendy, thank you for always being awesome. With that being said, Grunkle Scott, much love to your family. We're sorry about your dad, and hopefully you'll be back with us next week.
oh, I got a quick question, David. Come on,
yeah.
you gotta leave a teaser. We got anything leading up to Halloween? Because I'm not going to be here Halloween weekend.
Oh, I was going to have our big Halloween party on the 28th. Not happening? I thought I was actually going to broadcast live for my personal Halloween party.
Okay, let's do that. I've got a 4-day weekend. You can ruin it. It's okay. It's just because
So
I
no,
love you.
we'll do it. We'll do it the week before. We'll do it the week before.
No, I mean, if it's convenient for everybody, go ahead. We'll leave it open.
You're
But-
worrying
okay,
about
so-
Halloween in September? Come on, man.
Dude, we're already decorated, man. The whole inside is
Me
decorated.
too.
We just
I'm
got
crashing your Halloween party in Pennsylvania.
You're more than welcome.
Holding off on the outside, because these storms and crap. But yes.
We're thinking
All
of you.
right. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you, David.
With that being said, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Good night, everybody.
Bye.